Hello, my fellow Welt lovers. Okay, you better strap in because we've got leaks, speculations, copium-fueled predictions, and the kind of chaotic patch-to-patch emotional whiplash that only Honkai Star Rail can deliver. The 3.5 update has started peeling back layers of what might be one of the most paradigm-shifting mechanics yet, and I'm talking about path changes in combat, baby. Yes, you heard that right. We are no longer bound by the static, holy scriptures of one path per character. Hoyo's out here making turn-based combat more cracked than ever. Topping up in Genshin or Star Rail can get expensive, and let's be honest, we've all seen those in-game prices and wished they were just a bit lower. Well, that's exactly what LD Shop is here for. This is LD Shop, the official top-up platform developed by the LD Player Emulator Group. It lets you top up your favorite games like Genshin Impact and Star Rail at huge discounts, up to 23% off or more. And yeah, it's super easy to use. All you need is your server and UID, and your top-up will show up in-game within just a few minutes. It's safe, reliable, and used by thousands of players. You can even compare prices, for example, something like the Supply Pass or a 6480 Stellar Jade Bundle. It's way cheaper here than in-game. If you register using my link, you'll get a 15% off coupon and an extra 5% off coupon, which can save you up to $50 on your first top-ups. Plus, LD Shop gives you the same first top-up bonus you get in-game, so you're not missing out on anything. And if you're planning to spend more, here's a bonus. If you spend over $80, you'll unlock VIP status, which gives you a free supply pass and more perks. So if you're looking to save while still getting everything you normally would in-game, just use the link in the description and get Feign on while saving more. So first off, what does this even mean? Well, the 3.5 patch literally added backend support for detecting character path change in combat. That's not a typo, that's real. No unit in the game right now uses this, which means they're either teasing tech for a future unit, or they're quietly prepping us for a massive shift in how characters can operate. Imagine starting your turn as a hunt character and ending it as a harmony buffer. Yeah, peak madness. This isn't just your average skill effect. This is core identity level transformation mid-battle, and the implications are freaking enormous. Of course, everyone's eyeballing Elation as the main suspect. Why Elation? Because that path has been dancing on the edge of madness since the simulated universe threw it into the mix. It's already known for being quirky, wild, and chaos-fueled, so having Elation units that randomly switch paths each turn fits the vibe too perfectly. Like, just picture it. You roll into SU with an Elation team, and suddenly your buffer's throwing punches, your DPS is shielding everyone, and your healer decided to go full hunt mode and delete an elite mob. Sounds stupid. Sounds broken. Sounds awesome. Now, if Elation does end up being the path that swaps into others, we might be staring into the void of light cone hell. That's right, if a character can change paths, what happens to their light cone? Will their LC also adapt? Will we be forced into mega niche cones that only work when they're in a specific path mode? We might be looking at Anaxa levels of specificity. You know exactly what I mean. Anaxa's light cone was so niche it practically had your IP address engraved into it. So unless Hoyoverse has a divine moment of clarity and lets us freely assign light cones based on their active path outside of battle, we might be entering an era of hyperlocked gear systems. If they don't let us swap LCs dynamically or adapt to whatever the character becomes, Remembrance might finally be dethroned as the greediest path in the game. And that is saying something because Remembrance's cone economy is pure pain. Speaking of which, some clarification dropped from the leaker Sakura Haven, who addressed the elephant in the room. Didn't Elation already get leaked? And apparently yes, but also no. Turns out that the Elation info we got earlier doesn't contradict the new discoveries, which might actually point toward multiple internal builds of the same path, or even the possibility of another entirely new path in the pipeline. Yes, this is the part of the video where I start screeching into the abyss because everything we thought we knew is on fire again. Multiple sources, multiple leaks, and no official confirmation equals absolute chaos. We eaten. But here's where it gets juicy. If Elation or this path-shifting mechanic becomes real, we might be looking at a return of the follow-up meta. Remember those good OL days where FUPs were the kings and queens of all damage? Where Himiko and Topaz were clapping cheeks without even taking turns? Well, this new Elation system could make follow-up attacks great again, if that's the direction they go. It's kinda weird how so many FUP units exist outside of Elation, right? So either we're getting a completely new follow-up centric path, or Elation is gonna absorb that identity. which honestly wouldn't be the first time Hoyo completely redefined what a path is supposed to be. They took remembrance from freezing enemies with Ice Daddy Jeopard to summoning armies like its Pokemon. So Elation becoming the wildcard path that dabbles in everything? Totally on brand. Okay, let's talk avatars, specifically about the big, juicy question mark that is Lancer. Everyone saw that ultra-detailed avatar model and immediately went, wait a sec, playable when? You know how this goes. The more detailed the NPC, the more likely they're destined for banner glory. But what if we're being baited? Because Lancer looks like he should be playable, especially if the Fate collab continues into a part 2. And look, I know 3.4 is stacked to the brim. Like, it's actually dumb how much is happening in that patch. Fate crossover, a god-tier story chapter, the Myriad Celestia exposition dump, Phanon, and that crispy new trailer that probably melted our retinas. So, Hoyo might have purposely kept part 2 of the Fate collab secret to let it breathe in 3.5. Think about it. They dropped Fate Part 2 during the 3.5 livestream, after we've been lulled into thinking 3.5 is just a calm patch. Instant hype resurgence. 900 IQ move. But let's stay delusional for a moment. If the Fate collab story really is continuing, then we might be looking at a scenario where Gilgamesh, Ryder, or even characters from Apocrypha, CCC, or FGO enter the HSR universe. I would absolutely explode if we saw Jean Dark just casually vibing on the Astral Express, or if BB popped up to delete the fourth wall. I don't care if they don't make sense canonically. If 3.4 showed us anything, it's that the devs are willing to bend narrative logic for cool crossover sauce, and I fully support that chaos. Now here's another thing to note. Characters like Mr. Rika and Screwllum also use the tall male avatar model. They've been chilling as NPCs so far, but now that we know how detailed Lancer's model is, it throws all our expectations into the air. If Rika and Screwllum eventually become playable, it sets a precedent. Maybe Lancer isn't as far off as we think. Or maybe he's just a story unit, and we're all clowning ourselves. But even if we never get him, the fact that Hoyo built these assets at all means they're future-proofing for something big. Whether it's a second wave of Fate units, or another event that reuses these models, we're clearly not done with them yet. That's the kind of background stuff that gets me excited. Like, yes, I love a good banner reveal, but seeing the game's skeleton slowly shift and adapt to support new mechanics? That's how you know something massive is cooking behind the scenes. So, TLDR? Path-changing tech is in the game. Elation might be going giga-crazy soon. Light cones could become our next nightmare. Fate Part 2 is probably being held hostage until 3.5's livestream drops. Lancer fans are hanging by a thread. And follow-up meta might be rising from the ashes like a glorious, auto-attacking phoenix. If you made it this far, congrats. You are officially deep in the Honkai sauce with me. And listen, whether we're theory-crafting fake banners, crying about light cone synergy, or just praying for more free servants, we're all in this beautiful, unhinged space game together. See you at the 3.5 livestream, where everything will either make sense or descend into even deeper madness. As always, take care of yourselves, claim your daily trailblaze power, and never stop believing in Welt supremacy.